Miss Tasmaka! Hey everybody, this is David, and today I'm going to be talking about Supergirl Season 2, Episode 1, The Adventures of Supergirl. And I was very curious and optimistic about coming into this season because Superman was coming, and I'm like, what? And there was a part of me that was a little hesitant about that because I wasn't too sure about the guy who they got as Superman. Like, is this guy gonna be good? He doesn't look like Superman to me. He looks like, I don't know, he looks too rough around the edges. I don't know. But anyways, after watching this episode, I'm happy to say that I think this guy was awesome as Superman. I think he did a really great job. I think I can't wait to see more of him next week. Thank goodness he's sticking around. And I was one of those dummies, hoping for Tom Welling to return, put him in the suit. I'm still hoping for Tom Welling to some way come back, just like they got Dean Cain, Helen Slater, now Linda Carter, I believe, is coming very soon. I thought Superman's interaction with Supergirl was so well done in this episode. I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed some of the stuff that they were doing in the first season whenever Clark and Kara had those texts back and forth. But we never got to see Superman's face, and seeing them interact here was really, really nice. And I was expecting the show to be a little bit different than it was on the CBS, but it looks like it hasn't changed much. So it does feel, there is something about it that feels more CW-ish, but not by much. I think it's still the same show it was, but maybe not as fluffy. I don't know. But I gotta say, I really enjoyed the first episode back, and Superman, I don't know if that was a big reason of it, but maybe not, because everything to me worked in the episode, including Superman and John Jones. They had some interaction there. We learn that Superman doesn't, he's kind of upset with John. We learned from Kara's sister, whose name is escaping me right now, that John, who was investigating a little bit, she confronts John with it, and John says, look, it's true, we found this kryptonite under the ground one time, me and Superman were on a mission, and I decided to keep it instead of destroying it because there's other Kryptonians out there. Not all of them are as nice as you and Kara. So Superman was pissed off at John for doing that, and because Superman wanted to destroy it. I get it, and I kind of agreed with Superman on that part. I think John was wrong on that, and he should have allowed Superman to destroy the kryptonite. And it looks like those repercussions are going to be happening in the next episode. So I'm really looking forward to seeing more John and Superman Kal-El interactions in the next episode. Cat Grant also returns in this episode, and she was just as strong as ever. I enjoy Cat sometimes. Sometimes I think she goes a little bit too far, but in this episode, she was once again helping Kara, giving her or teaching her what she really wants to do, pushing her to make her decide on her own. And finally, at the end of the episode, we finally realize that Kara wants to be a reporter, just like her cousin Clark, and that, Kat had known that she was going to be a reporter all this time. In other words, they can't keep Cat Grant because Callista Flockhart is too expensive, so we have to get Kara out of the building. So Cat Grant isn't always seen. I also like the interaction between Kat and Clark, how Kat had a little romantic interest into Clark, and how she even was asking, so how's Lois? Are you two still a thing? Speaking of, I liked that Clark acknowledges that, no, him and Lois are really strong, and it's him, Clark Kent, that Lois likes, obviously because she already knows that he's Superman. This episode totally made me want to see Lois and Lex come into the show one day and have Supergirl and Lucy Lane and Lois, or all of them, have all of them all in one episode. I think that would be fantastic. I think it would be really cool. Get someone to play Lex, get someone to play Lois, and give us a really cool episode. Have Lex team up with his sister, Lena Luthor, I think it was. She was really interesting. I think we are going to be seeing her again. Lex tried to kill her. Is she evil? I think she's going to be turning out to be a bad guy, but we'll see. With Lex trying to kill her, I don't know. Maybe she'll have to team up with Superman and Supergirl. Because let's face it, we don't want all these characters coming like, oh, well, here's Lena Luthor, the sister of Lex Luthor. And then we find out that, well, Lois already has a sister on this show. And then what happens? Perry White has a brother that takes over for Callista Flockhart. I hope they don't go overboard with that kind of stuff. But okay, Lena Luthor, you're welcome to the show. Hope to see more of you. I hope this doesn't mean we're going to lose Maxwell Lord on this show, because I felt that in the first season, Maxwell Lord was kind of that Lex Luthor type character. So hopefully they haven't gotten rid of him completely. I like to see him again. Even though he kind of like turned good towards the end of the first season, I still consider him a villain, and I think he can always turn back easily. Once crooked, always crooked. We also got a mystery character that's, that was seen in that pod at the end of the first season. We finally got to see it's a Kryptonian, it looks like. Well, no surprise there. We all expected it was going to be something Kryptonian. But another man Kryptonian, that's interesting. I was kind of hoping it would be like Krypto, the dog, I was kind of hoping for that, I'm not going to lie. But fine, okay, let's see who this is. If this turns out to be like General Zod's son, I'm going to be, come on guys, we can do better than this. We don't need everybody's son or brother or sister coming to the show. Let's be creative with it. Let's make it Zod. That would be cool. Or Zod's, no, not Zod's clone, but let's make it, a character that we know. Let's not do like the son of or the sister of or the brother of. Okay? Let's move on. I also like the little references to the classic Superman movie with Christopher Reeve. Obviously, Miss Tessmacher, if you've seen the 1978 film, Miss Tessmacher was that character that Lex Luthor would always yell, Miss Tessmacher, whenever he needed her to come to the room and help him with something. So I laughed when Callista Flockhart or Cat Grant was yelling it like that, because it kind of reminded me of the Gene Hackman Lex Luthor whenever he yelled her name. And I also liked when Lena Luthor was in the helicopter, she said, I hate planes, but statistically speaking, it is the safest way to travel, which is another reference to the original Superman film with Christopher Reeve, because that's what he tells Lois after saving her from a helicopter, from one that was falling. So yeah, I really enjoyed it, and the special effects too in the episode were on par, I think, with the CBS station. I thought they handled the CGI really good. We didn't get too much of John's turning into Martian form, but we got a little bit, which is fine for now. We want to see him turn green more, guys. Come on, so put the budget in there. Give us more Martian Manhunter, especially next week, since we know Superman's going to be on it next week and maybe the last episode for a while. Yeah, give us John, give us Supergirl, and give us Superman all teaming up, kicking whatever Metallo's ass next week, because they're setting up Metallo in this one. We got John Corbin, who was hired by Lex and to kill Lex's sister, and now he got injured terribly. He got shot, and he's going to be Metallo next week. So I can't wait for that. This was a really good return. I can't wait to see the rest of the season, and I can't wait to see Supergirl going to Earth 1 or whatever Earth flashes on, and Arrow and the Legends of Tomorrow, because I want to see her interact with those guys too. I hope we get to see Superman at some point interacting with those guys. I have no idea. All the DC shows are awesome right now. I can't wait to see what they have in store for us. So until next week, guys, I don't know if I'll be doing next week's episode. I probably will, since Superman is back, and I really enjoyed his appearance here. So like this video, subscribe to my channel, and check me out on Twitter and Facebook. And until next time, guys, if you're a huge DC Arrowverse, Flareoverse fan, you know what to do. Until next time, take care.